We're here. We are live. Man, we already got a thumbs down. Let's do it. Oh, man. Love the internet, huh? How's it going, everybody? If you are here, drop a comment. I know we got some people already here. Let me know if you're here. We're going to be rocking and rolling on making some music. We're going to be working on a new song that I'm going to be doing vocals on Monday next week. And it should be a good time. I'm going to share my screen here. So there we go. All right. We've got Nehemiah Music. What's up? Ashley Nicole. Yo. Salmon. Or is it Salmon? You know. Rookie here. All right. So I don't have a whole lot to show you guys. Normally when I do these streams, I've already got a little bit more done. And this is one that I guess it's a lot more raw. And I decided to wait to start this one until today. So that way you guys can see a little bit more of the process, starting with literally everything scratch. So this piano part I have here is the only MIDI part I have. This is temporary. We're going to be redoing all of this. It's just here to provide some structure. And the vocals here, this is me singing on this. I will not be singing on this. This is going to be a female vocalist. So my vocals sound pretty weird, to be honest with you, because I had to pitch them down because this song is a little low for me, just range-wise, like the verses are quite low. So I originally recorded this a little higher and then pitched it down, and so that sounds kind of funky. But again, this is going to be a female singer. Anna Claridge is the name of the vocalist I'm going to have on this. And we're going to be doing vocals next week. So this needs to go from this, which is basically raw, nothing done on it, all the way to getting this to a place where it is ready for vocals and fully produced. So I'm just going to play a little bit of the first verse into the chorus. Again, I know people are going to be showing up and be like, those vocals sound like crap and blah, blah, blah. This is not going to be me singing. Like, take a chill. Okay. I'm not the one singing this. Okay. This is literally here just to know where in the song I am. And this is here so that the singer knows how the song goes. Okay. So if you're working with a vocalist not in the studio, which is this case, this vocalist lives not in the same place I live. So next week I'm going to be traveling to work in a studio with her. When you're collaborating with people like that, yeah, like sometimes you just have to sing stuff to make sure they know how it goes. So, I'm sure I'll have to address this a couple times on the stream, but let's go ahead and do it. So I'm going to start the verse. There is a little bit of an intro. Okay, so here's a good question. Do you usually create a full demo arrangement before you start producing it, or is it song by song? This is a good question to answer before we get started on actually producing this. So it really depends. Sometimes I will start producing the track as I'm writing it just to help me with some inspiration, especially if in the case of some songs where maybe I don't know where to go lyrically with it, but I do know where I want to go musically with it, then I will work on what I feel the best about. I don't think you need to work in a rigid way where it's like you have to have the song totally written first. I think a lot of people work better that way. I think probably more often than not people work better that way, but it just depends on the kind of like brain you have. So for me, will you be Lice when you join her? Adriel Ramirez. I don't really understand the question. Maybe you could, if you could rephrase that would probably be helpful. But yeah, I mean, it really depends on the song. I mean, there are songs that I'll produce the entire instrumental and have no idea what I want to do lyrically or vocally with it. So yeah, I mean, I think it just depends. This was one of those ones where I just wrote this with piano and vocal. That was it. And then, I knew that I was going to be working with Anna next week. And so this was kind of one of those cases where I was like, I needed to write something quick for us to work on. We're going to be doing 2 songs. Maybe you should do song lyrics with ChatGPT. I have tried it, actually. It's not very good. All right, so I'm just going to play a little bit of the verse into the chorus here. So this is more of a ballad. Like I said, female singer, not me singing. I don't sound very good on this, but, just so you can hear it.
Where have I been all of this time? I've been in a haze.
There's that pitch down that I mentioned.
In my brain. But dreams are only in my mind. And all the things I want to find disappear.
That's the verse. Go in the chorus here.
I wanna live life worth living, do more than surviving. I wanna spread my wings and fly to where I've never been. I wanna live like I'm dying, as if the world's time is coming. I wanna breathe in the air and know that I gave all I am. I wanna live like the world is ending.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. Yeah, the vocal sounds like crap. I mean, this is horrible. Like I said, female singer, not me singing. This is literally just a demo. Yeah. Also, hashtag autotune. Okay, there's a question, why don't I use project templates? I do use project templates. I am not using a project template on this one. I actually had a bunch of other stuff in here. I just deleted all of it because there's a case to make for project templates. I use them, especially if I know I need to do something very fast. This is a case where I did not use a project template for actually a really specific reason. And the reason is because I have found that if I use project templates, I tend to make music that sounds very homogeneous. In other words, it sounds the same. I don't want this to sound the same as everything I do. I want this to sound very different than everything I do. So we're going to kind of work to make that happen. So that's why. I'm going to go ahead and create just like 10 instances of Contact though. Just so I have plenty to work with. I don't really like this piano sound, so we're going to start literally from the very, very beginning. And I think I'm going to try Noir, the felt version, but I'm also going to load up an instance. Okay, we're going to do Noir felt, Arnold's felt. But I'm also going to do an instance of the Oliver Arnold's felt. And that's because I kind of have a specific... Oh yeah. I really like this piano. Yeah, you can really hear the differences. Noir doesn't sound as good out of the box, but... There we go. Really want it soft. There we go. I do like a little bit of compression. Push up the volume a little bit. There we go. All right, what key? We changed the key, so I needed to see what key. G. Okay, that's what I thought. All right. Kind of want to do something very, very simple. Let's see. Ooh, man, I like that. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. That sounds awesome. I'm going to compress this a little bit. I'm going to slow that release. Why don't I just drag the MIDI item? Because I don't want to use the same thing, because I'm actually going to perform this unique. I'm going to do this all over. It's just a scratch track.
I've been in a haze, stuck in my brain, but dreams of...
Okay, I'm gonna get rid of this vocal. It's kind of bothering me. All right, I like that. I want to start with just an extremely simple, and I want this to like crescendo over the course of the whole song. So the one thing that like I have to hold myself back from is sometimes I want to just give too much too soon. And that's like a really big challenge. I think it's really, really easy to want to give too much too soon, and you don't want to give too much too soon. Dang it. Might be nice if I actually play the right stuff. 3, 4, 5, 6. Ah, messed up that last chord. Let's punch that in. Yeah, I want to elongate that. Dun, 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 dun. Might be nice if I actually, get the right notes. Thank God for MIDI. Oh my gosh. Chords. What are the chords? Oh, it's the same. I thought so. Shannon, yes, we are just getting started. Like literally very, 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 very beginning. I wanted to go somewhere different there. I'm going to start that whole phrase over again. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of a lead in there. I think I actually did that only one bar. Again, MIDI. We can fix it. I wanna bathe in the air. starts with I wanna live like wanna live like okay, and then that, yeah, and then it gets into a little bit of the instrumental. Okay, I'm gonna back up here. I want to kind of just build a little bit of this framework of the sound, just because like right now we have the piano here, which is good, but I want to start figuring out what the actual sound is that I want in terms of like the sonic space, if you will, and I want this to feel dreamy, kind of like ethereal. So one of the first places that I like going to for this type of thing would be hammers and waves. And I think I'm going to try the dulcet tone just because it's got that bell-like sound, which that right there is not going to sound good, but they have one of the things I really like is their ethereal stuff. You like that? I'm going to try out a few of these presets here. No, there's nothing wrong with just piano vocals. I'm just going to be adding something in here really as just textural. Like that, like very, very soft. Yeah, it might be a little over the top for me. I like that. I'm going to fade it in. Okay, I'm gonna call this Ethereal Dream Pad. Why not? I'm gonna color it kind of a purplish because I'm anal about that. Okay, the other thing I wanted to do lately, I have been using East-West stuff, and I think their Forbidden Planet's pretty darn good for just like cool textural stuff. And then what I'm going to do is filter this out. And really bring it down. There we go. We can use some automation here. That's actually probably a little loud. I'm gonna bring this in a little later. right here. There we go. Okay, I like that. Dream synth pad. I'm gonna kind of work on this sound a little bit. There we go. Shannon, this is in G. Know the things I want to mind. And know the things I want to find. I wanna live life worth living. Do more than surviving. I wanna spread my wings and fly to where I've never been. I wanna live like I'm dying, as if the world's time is coming. I wanna feel. Okay, so there we go. I think I'm going to try to do a little bit more strings here. Yeah, I love the chamber evolution. So this library is the Spitfire Chamber Evolutions. It's the Oliver Arnold's one. Oh my gosh, it's freaking crazy good. I'm gonna not filter, but just kind of pull. So I'm not like doing a hard filter on this, but I am pulling down the highs a lot just to kind of give it a bit more of a muted sound. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. All right, mid chamber evolve. I think I'm gonna do this like more of a blue. And then nope. And then I'm gonna do some low ones as well, so we get some more bass. So bass waves here, This is the one thing. Wait. Yeah, you gotta really bump up the volume on these guys. Here we go. Cool. There was one that I kind of came a little... Yeah, this one right here is way too early. Okay, and I'm going to use what's called common tone. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold this D over the entire thing and just kind of morph it, because that D pretty much, it doesn't technically share a note with every single chord, but like it's the 5 over a G, it's the 3 over the B minor, it's the add 2 over C, and then it's the 1 on D. So pretty much like the only chord that it's not genuinely a part of is the C major chord, but it's still the add 2, which is a really good chord. It's good note. It's the supertonic. Boom, just like that. I am gonna pull up the expression a little bit though, because it was quite low. I'm gonna pull it up like that. All right. I wanna live like the world is ending. And then I'm gonna do just piano. I like that. Just piano there. Really focus on that piano. And then we're going to bring it lower, and this is where things will start kind of... The reverb I'm using is not a reverb, it's a delay actually. So I'm using Replica. Here's a little pro tip. I've talked about this before, but I think just people just don't even know this is a thing. So Replica is a delay plugin. It's a Native Instruments delay plugin. But if you set it to the diffusion mode and then set it to the shortest time possible, which is a 64th note, it basically behaves like a reverb. So, and I just love the sound of it. It's got a really beautiful kind of diffused sound. I'm going to redo a little bit of that little pre-chorus thing I'm going to redo. But I like that idea. 2, 3. I didn't get the chord change. I'm going to redo it. I'll just redo that one. Here we go. Yeah, you can copy my settings. I don't care. I mean, literally just all you do is just diffusion, 64th note, and then just change how wet you want it. The end. Boom. Do what you want. All right, this is where I'm going to start adding a little bit more like strings. So I'm just going to do NI strings here. Now, this is the one time I will actually use just like a full string ensemble is when it's like what's the word? Just like chords. If you have the String Ensemble Symphony series by Native Instruments, I will say that it's very bright, very, very bright sound. If you want it to be more fitting for something like this, like the context of this, then what you'll want to do is you'll want to either use EQ to bring it down or just do it naturally, which is use the Sordino sus vibrato articulation, which is, you can see them down here. And I'll just kind of play you side by side. So here's without it. That's just regular sustain. Here's with it. Boom. Shannon, do I have a good recommendation for a good piano sound that's native to Logic Pro? No. I know that's not the answer you want. There are certain things I just think you gotta get third-party stuff. If you want something free, Spitfire Labs has a phenomenal soft piano. So there are plenty of free options, but not within Logic. No, not that I could really recommend. I think the Logic pianos kind of suck, to be honest with you. Not what people want to hear, I know. Okay, so here's another little pro tip with chords and strings and these types of arrangements. And I say arrangement, but this is really composition, okay? This is really composition. If you want something to be very moody, then the way you do this is through what is called close voicing. So when you think about chords, you can have a chord like this. It sounds very open, right? It's a very open sounding chord. Or you can have a chord like this. Sounds different. It's very closed. And the reason is because you have more notes in a smaller space, right? So you can have open, which is like this. Here. Right? So like the closest interval I have is a fourth, which is like right there. But then listen to the difference if we do something like this. It's kind of like clustered, right? And that's how you can get kind of this like really like intimate feel is by using more clustered chords. So notice in this chorus, the piano is actually very open space, like open chords. So if we look at the piano itself, right, very open, and that's why we get this very open sound. Okay? If I would have voiced it differently, like this, right? It's still a higher register like that, but it's very different. So, you know, that's like, just think about using chords in more like intentional ways, I guess you could say. So when you're writing or composing or arranging or whatever, yeah, you can use sus2 chords, which would just be like, it really wouldn't be a sus2, by the way, it'd be an add2, because I would still keep the third. So whenever you have a sus, it means you are doing it in exchange for. So like if you think of like a sus2, that would be like you no longer have the third of the chord because you've suspended it with a 2. So I tend to more prefer just add2. I know it's kind of like splitting hairs a little bit, but there is a distinction. Like if you leave the third out of the chord in exchange for a 2, it sounds like this. Okay. But if you add the third in there, that to me is really, really beautiful. And it gives it more of that clustered sound. Whereas if you're doing like a sus4, that's more of like a suspension. Like that. So again, I know that's kind of like splitting hairs a little bit, but I think it's a good thing to know. I think it's a good thing just to like keep in your mind that like you can modify how a chord sounds based on the notes you choose to use or not use. And so you can like leave out critical information on purpose, so then you can like provide it later on, which can really be powerful and really like unique. So what I think I'm going to do, and I'm going to kind of mess around with this a little bit. I want this second verse to be a little more moody. I want it to feel like once we get to this part here, like I'm going to use this as like a swell moment. And so everything leading into this, I think, is going to be a little bit more about like holding off till we get there, if that makes sense. So I'm going to kind of do these lower registers like this. Like that chord right there. Woo! That's a beautiful chord. It's literally like a C, D, E, G, and A. It's a very colorful chord. That would literally be like A minor 7 add 6. Or if you want to think about it like C, it'd be like a C major add 2 add 6. Super, super colorful. You don't want to just like throw those chords around. Typically you want to like use them as like like getting there, like landing there. Yeah, anyway, I'm gonna kind of just go ahead and put this out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I'm gonna stop there on that, on like the beat 4, whatever it is. I need to make sure I don't do that because that chord doesn't sound great. Okay, and so a little pro tip. I did just like 3-note chords there, but I still want to have the bass. So I tracked out that part with MIDI with my left hand using the mod wheel to get the dynamic right. And then I am going to track, in other words, like add over top of it, like superimpose the bass. So like this. And we'll put some reverb on this just so that way it doesn't sound like it just stopped. Okay, and then once we get to this part, I'm going to use this more as like a... something like that. I might use this as a chance to kind of split things out a little bit. I might yeah, we'll see. chorus. I'm gonna redo that just because I think. Yeah, we'll see. Except this one gets straight into the chorus. And then this is where we kind of need to like go in here and finesse this a little bit. So I'm gonna add the bass. Cody, what's up, bro? Okay. You know what, dude? So, dude, I don't use the RC24 very often. Yeah, I'm gonna add some. I'm gonna do that. Let's do that. Let's see how that sounds. I haven't used that one in a long freaking time. Honestly, I don't even. Let's see what kind of presets we got up in here. Dream Hall. Let's just do that. Yeah, that's what I did. Switched it to mix. You know what? I still, honestly, what I've been finding lately is crystalline adds a little more shimmer that I like. Like, listen to this. I wanna live life worth living. All right, let's kind of back up here. Ah, I love that six. Still can. I want to live life worth living. Yes, yes. I love it when you can have like literally so few things happening and it just sounds phenomenal. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit more of this synth into it just to kind of add some continuity. Woo. Except I need to make sure I go down. Wanna live life worth living. Tim, sample libraries. So, you know, I think, yeah, I have Chamber Springs. I think, Cody, we'll catch up later, dude. Yeah, look, I think if you're an amateur producer and you're wanting to, like, how many effects plugins have I pulled up so far? Like, for real, if you've been watching for any period of time, how many effects plugins have I pulled up? Reverb. That's it. Okay. You can use stock reverbs. I could use stock reverbs. That's totally fine. I mean, I have reverbs I like better. But I mean, guys, like, most of this is just sounds. If I didn't want to use crystalline here, I could literally use the reverb built right into this whole thing. Like, there's literally reverb. Look at this reverb right there. And we have look at all these different options we have. We've got all these different options for reverbs built directly into these sounds. We have different mic options to modify these sounds. If I wanted this to sound more wet, I could add the far mic in. I could get rid of the stereo mic and do the mids and far mics. Look, I think if you have great sound libraries, that's what you should focus on. The big first investment I ever made was the Native Instruments Complete Ultimate 9 or 8 or 9. I can't remember which one. When I was like 19 years old. This is like a decade ago. And I just genuinely think that if you want to have better sounding productions, then get better sounds. Like, watch any professional producer make music, and you'll see that they're spending the majority of their time working with sounds and not effects plugins. I spend very little time working with the effects plugin side of things, and mostly with sounds. Gosh, the coffee hit, guys. I gotta go pee. I'm gonna play this from the start so you guys can hear progress so far, and BRB. I'll talk about chamber strings here in a second. I got thoughts. All right, I'm going to tackle some questions here. So the first question was about chamber strings. I think chamber strings has some of the best legato options on the market in terms of sound. The portamento is insanely realistic. It's also very playable. So those are the things I like about the chamber strings. What I don't like about chamber strings is it's a very small sounding string library because it's chamber strings. It's literally what it is. It just sounds small. So the way I counter that is I layer my strings. I haven't done so in this production, but I have multiple productions I'm in progress with right now where if you were to look at it, you would see I have multiple layers of strings playing the same thing, but different libraries. So what I'll oftentimes do, and I've been doing this more recently because I'm starting to use the East-West stuff a little bit more, I found that the East-West lyric patches on violin sound insanely good for melodies. But then if you layer that with the chamber strings infuses this realism that you're not going to get from almost anything else. Just sounds so unbelievably realistic. But it sounds tonally very different. So you do need to kind of tweak it a little bit, in my opinion. And I think it sounds best when you layer it, and you need to make sure you get the balance correct. So these chamber strings, this is the Spitfire chamber strings. So just to be really clear. Yeah. Anyways, so then that was the first thing. I think there was another question here. Oh yeah, do I primarily mix with studio headphones or do I ever use monitors? Both. I do both. I mean, I'm in a home studio environment, right? So like I'm in the basement, which is kind of unfortunate. So we're, Lord willing, in the next couple years going to be moving, and we will put the studio above the garage. That's what we're planning on doing in the future. We're talking about building a house. So that way we don't hear the thump of kids running, because I've got two little ones and third on the way. So during the afternoons, a lot of times I will mix on headphones. I do a lot of stuff on headphones just because noise and volume and everything like that. I have a pair of R80s, which is the Presonus. It's kind of the top tier Presonus. I love those. So I think those are great. I think there was a question about the M Audio keyboard. Honestly, look, I just don't think it really cares. It just doesn't matter. Like, a MIDI keyboard's a MIDI keyboard, okay? So like a MIDI keyboard's a MIDI keyboard. They all do the same thing. So I mean, like, I don't know, just pick one and go with it. I don't care. Can we layer the strings separately or ensemble? So as far as this goes right now, since these are primarily just chords, I did use just the full strings. I don't do that very often. Normally I split them out because I want a lot of independent control. So I will have, 4 separate tracks. So yeah, I will oftentimes not do it. The reverb runs into bar 44 or 45, but it's a different chord. Yeah, I can take a look at that. I mean, like, I'm still in the flow with stuff. So, I'm personally not as concerned about like the fine details right now. Like I'm trying to just get the foundation laid here. Okay, so we're gonna keep going into this chorus. All right, so piano. Rushing. Because I realized I need that's different. Suspension. And this bridge is frickin' sick. I'm stoked about this bridge. It's gonna sound like a massive group of people. Okay. One of the questions was, what was the library used for the Dream synth pad? That is Forbidden Planet by Native Instruments. Okay, so speaking of that, I'm going to do this. So just so you guys know, this is kind of a little trick I do sometimes. If I have a part I'm working on producing, it rubs like this, where it's like, here's the next part, and I don't want to record, I'll just bump this over a bar, and then I'll record. So like that's what I'm going to do for the strings and the pad here. Okay, here we go. I have a vocalist I'm working with. Forbidden Planet is East-West. Ah, I messed up! I blame you! Oh, I thought I muted that. My bad. Okay, there was a little flub in there. I think it's right here. There we go. Yeah. Yeah, Forbidden Planet is East-West. I use East-West. Okay, I think I wanted to... Yeah, I'm going to use this. You know what? Yeah, we'll see how this sounds. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, question was, is East-West a good place to start if you have not bought sounds yet? I don't think so. I think, well, let me back up. I think it depends on what you're going for. There's a lot of free stuff out there. That's what I would start with. Start with the free stuff. Spitfire has a ton of free stuff. Native Instruments has a bunch of free stuff. I think, there's a lot of free stuff out there. So like start there, because then you're going to start to get a sense for like what kinds of sounds you even want in the first place. Like, I think it's a really difficult question whenever someone's like, which sound library should I start with? It's like, I have no idea. Like, what kind of music are you making? So, on the topic of sound libraries and what sound libraries should you get, I really think that you have to actually identify, like, what kind of music are you making? Are you making orchestral music? Are you making pop? Are you doing hip hop? Are you doing EDM? What kind of music are you making? If you're doing EDM, it's a very, very different approach than if you're doing like orchestral stuff. So, yeah. I also don't really like the subscription model, to be honest with you. I know East-West went that way. I preferred it before where they did not do it that way. And, I don't know. I don't know. It's whatever. For me personally, I got the Native Instruments bundle, the Complete Ultimate 9 or 8. I always forget which one it was. But it was a long time ago. It was like 10 years ago. Then, like, that's going to get you everything. That's why I started there, because for me, I'm making music of many, I'm fusing genres. Like, I'm doing some stuff with pop, but I'm also doing cinematic stuff, and then I'm doing some stuff with rock. Like, I've done rock, done pop, electronic rock, electronic pop, cinematic electronic pop. Like, I fuse all these genres together. And so for me, like, I kind of just need everything. Like, I need extremely realistic sounding orchestral stuff. Great. Native Instruments has that. So does East-West. So does Spitfire. But I think if you want just like an all-around, what's the best for just whatever it is you're looking for? Native Instruments. I think Native Instruments has the best, like, overall, thing, in my opinion. That's my opinion. Because you're going to get a little bit of everything. So, I think you just got to take a look at, you got to take a look at kind of your options, like the kind of music you're making and stuff. So, yeah. Okay, let's keep going. You know what? I'm not sure if I want to do these chamber strings here. Let's see. Nice. Here we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is where the explosion's going to happen. Man, that sounded great. I'm actually very pleased with that. I need to kind of tweak some stuff, but for the most part, that's really good. All right, let's do the bass parts. And bridge. Okay. I want to add some textural stuff to this. So the way I'm going to do this, I'm going to probably try out a few different things. Honestly, Arcus has some freakishly good textural things I love, like the mandolins, some of the longer kind of motiony kind of thingy-majiggies. That's the technical term, by the way. All right, I'm gonna see if I can. Yep, like that. Nehemiah Music. Would you ever talk more about cameras you use, your YouTube video process, and your other channels' music videos? No, probably not. Just because that's not really like why people watch me. I think the best lesson you can get on just like social media is know where your lane is, like know your lane, know where you exist, and then stay there. So like, you're not gonna ever hear me talk about politics, for example. I'm never gonna talk about politics. No one cares what I think about politics. I'm not gonna ever do that. Why would I do that? I'm gonna immediately alienate half my audience if I do that. That's not a good idea. No one's watching me to know like what cameras I use. No one really cares. Like you care, that's fine. But like generically speaking, broadly speaking, most people don't care. I will tell you here right now, I use a Canon 5D Mark IV. That's my camera. I'm using really good lenses. What lenses are they? Sigma. I'm using Sigma lenses. I have multiple cameras, but that's the one I use like 95% of the time. Apart from that, like, lights are super important. I have a lot of lights. I have different types of lights. And anyway, I just don't think most people aren't watching me for that. So people are watching because they want to learn how to make music. And that's what I try to stick with. All right. So with that said, let's make some music. So I love this sound. But right now it's a little dry. So we're going to make it wet. That sounded. Never mind. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put an EQ before this. Oh, good question. What makes a tune emotional? Is it the scale, the instruments? It's a combination of a lot of things. I don't think there's any one thing. Dynamic is big. So, I mean, like, you got to start with the chords and melody, right? Like, the chords and melody have to have the capability of being emotional, right? So, like, the chords in this particular track definitely gives that. Then the performance is huge. Like, how dynamic is it, right? Like, how are you performing it? And then the second thing is, like, obviously the sounds, like the articulations and all those things. So it's not just one thing. It's a lot of different things. All right, so this is why context matters. So I'm really losing it a lot. I think it's because I took those highs out. So just because something like seems like, oh, it's too bright, let's take the highs out. You just need to listen. Like, does it even sound good, right? Like, I'm just like, I'm not even hearing it. You know what I mean? So I think that's like a pretty good indicator. Like, I gotta change that. Actually, it's funny. I ended up boosting the highs on that. I ended up adding more color to it. I'm going to throw this in here. Yeah, I use the Logic EQ. I typically use the Logic EQ for subtractive EQ if I want to take things out. I'm not usually using it for boosting. If I want to boost stuff, I will use like a tube EQ. Yeah. Master Song Studios. I'm all about the production side of the music, but how do you plan on doing in-depth mixing tutorials? Is that part of your course? Yeah, it's a part of a course. We have an entire mixing course within Producer Accelerator. We have the whole mixing portion of the course, which is the back half. And then in there, we also have, I think, 3 full mix sessions with 3 separate songs, and you can like download the stems and all that stuff. As far as like, I have done mixing content on my channel, to be clear. Like, it's not that I don't. I have thought about doing more. It's just a challenge, to know, like, the challenge is that mixing tutorials oftentimes come across like a solution to fixing problems, and then it ends up like my big beef with a lot of like mixing tutorials. This is not a shock to anybody that watches my channel. I tend to be more concerned that people are going to take that information and abuse it, as opposed to realizing that like the mix is just like a really small part of it. Do I ever get paid for film scoring gigs? Yes. So I've done like 10 to 12 film projects over the last however long time. But I've also worked on commercial stuff. I landed a pretty big Quilted Northern commercial last year. So yeah, I mean, I work with a studio. Making music for like commercials and stuff like that. So I get sent briefs every so often to score commercials and stuff. It's a very stressful. It's stressful. It's really stressful. Not an industry most people are made for, in my opinion. Like, if you can make a ton of money doing it, there is a huge amount of money doing it. I can't be specific because NDAs and everything. So, but like, I can't talk about like how much I've been paid to do stuff, but like a lot. It's very lucrative, also very stressful. So like, you might get a brief and it could be like a deal where you're like writing for a commercial or something, and first of all, the deadlines are ridiculous. So like, like the Quilted Northern commercials, I can talk a little bit about. I can't talk about the money side, but I can talk a little bit about some of it. I can't, there's I have to kind of tiptoe a little bit, which I don't really like, but it kind of is what it is. But I can be generic. I got a text at like 11:30 in the morning saying, "Hey, have a brief for you for this commercial. Would you be able to get us music by the end of the day tomorrow?" And that's like how it goes. So that's just like a good indicator. Like that's a really good, like that's a typical type of a situation. Hey, we got this commercial. We need music tomorrow. You good? And then it was like another hour before I even got the brief. And then the brief is like a 5 to 7 page PDF document detailing the commercial, maybe a couple scripts of the commercial. They make it look all pretty and fancy and like, oh my gosh, this is the most serious thing ever. This is like the most important thing in the world. We're selling toilet paper. And then they're going to have reference tracks. And usually the reference tracks are like 4 or 5 different ones. And then you listen to them, and sometimes it's like, okay, like I think I have a pretty good idea. And then other times is like, wait a minute. Like one of these, it's like, hey, here's like a high energy, like pop track. And you're like, all right, cool. And you listen to the second one, it's like an emotional ballad. And you're like, what the heck is the similarity between these two? Like, what do you want? You know what I mean? Like mixed signals. So yeah, like I think, fortunately, the Quilted Northern one was not one of those where it was confusing. I did do another one. I didn't land it, but like I did another one that like I thought the references was very, very like helpful. Like the reference songs that they gave were like, oh, like this is great. I did it. And the commercial that ended up, what they ended up actually doing was like not even in the same ballpark as what they originally asked for. So like things can just change so freaking fast, and you just like, you might not even know like that it changed. So it's just one of those types of situations where, you might get something and you're like, all right, cool. Like I think I have a pretty good idea what to do with this. And then you do it. And then like next thing you know, they're like, yeah, we've gone like a totally different direction. It's like, okay, whatever. Pressure must be intense. What if your creative ideas are great but don't fit the brief within the deadline? Well, then you got to redo it. That's a part of the gig, and that's literally why I'm saying like I don't think this is an industry for most people. I think most people are just not wired to do it. Like most of the time, it's like I want to make the music I want to make, and that's just not how that industry works. You are getting hired to do a very specific job, and you have to be able to cater your music to that specific thing. And they're paying a lot of money. You know what I mean? Like that's the thing you need to keep in mind. They're paying a lot of money. And so of course you need to be like freaking good at it. You know what I mean? Like and I don't get every brief. I don't get most of them because like stylistically, maybe it's not the thing for me. Like if someone's like, hey, we got this hip hop brief, I'm not going to be writing on a hip hop brief. That's not what I'm good at. Briefly describe the difference between mixing and mastering. Yes, I mean like mixing, I'll put it like this. Mixing is this. You're looking at all the tracks in an entire production and you are working them together to make them sound great. Mastering, you are working with a single file, which is the stereo file at the end of all of this in one audio file. And the goal is to get maximum loudness, tonal balance, and all of that. My opinion is way too many home studio producers want to do absolutely freaking everything. And as a result, you're going to not be very good at anything. Pick 1 or 2 things you want to be good at. If you're like, I want to be a producer, a mixing engineer, mastering engineer, I want to do everything, freaking everything. I don't think you're going to get good results with that. Like the vast majority of people are not going to get good results with that. Pick, like if you're starting out, get really good at producing. Breakfast Gun, how do you get tonal balance with one file? EQ. When multi-band compression. I'm not a mastering engineer. You'll notice on my channel, I never have done a mastering tutorial because I'm not a mastering engineer. I don't master my music. Anything that is being distributed, I hire a mastering engineer for. The only things that I will do a quote unquote master is for television. That is it. And the reason is because mastering is just not very important in television. Like maximum loudest is not the goal with television. Like just make it sound good. And the reason is because in television, they're going to turn it down anyway. Your music is going to be like super quiet anyway. So like it doesn't need to be loud. You know what I mean? Like they're literally going to turn it down to like minus 18 dB, minus 25 dB anyway. So why does it need to be freaking, throbbing to the ceiling? It doesn't. Yes, I still throw things through a little bit of a brick wall. I just use ozone for that. I'm going to make it sound good. I want to make sure it's not clipping it can clip, but like I don't want to be distorting. As long as we're doing that, like we're in good shape. So yeah, anyway, but I hire a mastering engineer. I think most producers, especially if you're a home studio producer, again, I get it. We all want to do it. We all want to be so independent. I want to do everything myself. Like, I just don't think that that's realistic if you want to be performing at a high level. If you want to be performing at a high level, get really freaking good at producing music. And if you are not the best at mixing, hire a mixing engineer. Have a buddy who does it for you. Find some way of doing that and then learn while you do it. Learn while you do it. When I was producing clients, I don't do this very much anymore. I only work with people I want to work with now, which I'm not saying that to be like, that came across as that came across a little cocky. I don't mean it that way. I just mean like I'm working with the people I want to work with on music that I am directly involved with and I have ownership over. So like I own this song. This is my song. I wrote it. I own the master. I have the administration rights on it, which means if we license it, I'm the one that benefits. And like the vocalist, I will pay her. So that's just like that whole thing. But like when I was doing stuff for clients, I hired mixing engineers at the beginning because I knew that mixing is not the thing I'm the best at. So why would I take a client and then I can produce at a really high level and then my mix is like not at a high level, which means I'm not actually doing the best for my client at that point. So what I did early on was take a client, I do the production and I hired the mixing and I would bake in the price of that production. I would bake in the mixing so that I can pay my mixing engineer, subcontract them. And then the same thing for mastering. And then I got to a point to where I was working on mixing and getting better at mixing to a point to where basically my mixes always sounded better than like another mixing engineer like that I was working. And then at that point, that's like, okay, why would I hire someone when I can literally do just as good of a job, if not better, in a shorter amount of time and I can have control? I still work with mastering engineers. I have like my guy for mastering and he's done a ton of stuff for me. So yeah. Rant over. Let's make music because honestly, I think making music is more fun than talking about it. All right, and this is where we're gonna have the explosion, storm, big crash hit. Okay, there was a question about how much do you think you spend total on vocals and mastering costs? Okay, so on vocals, what I try to do, this is not the case with this song. What I try to do is make it so that whoever the vocalist is co-writes with me and neither of us pay anything. Okay, that's the best way to do it. Make it so you both have skin in the game. So a genuine collaboration to where there is split ownership over the songwriting royalties. So like what I'm doing right now is building a catalog for obviously distribution on my own artist channels, NJL, my own music channel, Spotify, Amazon, blah, blah, blah. But like really the main thing is like we're doing most of this for licensing, for television, for pitching. So if something gets placed in television, we both win. Okay. I own the master, which means that like I'm going to ultimately get like the streaming revenue and stuff like that. But on anything with licensing and royalties, we split. So I would just say like that's the best way of doing it. As far as mastering, I pay $150 a master. That's pretty standard. All right. I think we're gonna use that one. Sorry for blowing your eardrums out, everybody. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Which that sounds real weird right now. Okay. By the way, if you want to know when we go live, you can always just text the number. I have it on the screen down there. That's what that's for. If you text the word live to that number, we'll add you to the list to just let you know when I go live in the future. And, you know, yeah. Question, producing after recording vocals is good or producing before? I do before, always. I never produce after doing vocals. I always. Yeah. If you pitch a song to a TV studio, do they ever come back and have you make a different specific song they want? I mean, that would be like more like a brief. No, not really. I mean, so like, look, what we're doing right now is building a catalog that we are then submitting to libraries. And so one of the artists that I work with, Sailor, she's got to deal with audio. I'm in the process. I can't talk about some of this stuff because it's not like signed off and stuff, so I'm not going to. But more like what I'm doing is I make the music I want to make. The only briefs that I'm getting are from the other studio. Yeah. NJL is the artist name that I publish music on. I just started releasing music as an artist. I've never released music as an artist. Like I was always the person like behind the scenes doing stuff. NJL. If you look up NJL, we've got some covers, cinematic covers. We have a record going. We've got a record going live. Well, we have a song going up on Friday this week, and then the Friday next week we've got a 4-track EP. Yeah, I mean, like I'll probably release like 50 songs this year on Spotify, and then probably another like 75 will be not public. What's the going rate for an amateur producer per song? I mean, I don't know, whatever they ask for, I guess. I mean, maybe like 500 a song, probably like in that ballpark. That's what I'd probably recommend someone who's like trying to get in, start with. Okay. I would love to keep talking. I'm getting distracted because I need to get some move on. With this song. All right. So the bridge. I'm going to move this down here. So yeah. Okay, I'm gonna use a different piano sound actually for this. This is another little not pro tip, but just like very normal is you'll find people using different sounding pianos for different things. It's always the last chord. Always the last chord that I screw up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, let's do that. 2, 3. Might be nice if I play the right chords. Jeez. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Maybe I won't. I don't know. I don't want to end like that. No! 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 Ah, I hate it when it does that. Okay. Let's do this bridge. This bridge needs to be awesome. Sometimes when you basically quantize without actually selecting what you want to quantize, it'll just quantize literally everything, including real-time audio, which is not what you want. Yeah, not good. Alrighty, so I want to, you know what? Give me that guy. Give me that guy. All right, so now you're going to be able to see like the real string stuff because we're going to go all out right now. All right, so I'm going to start with East West. I'm going to do their lyric ones, violin, long. It's this one right here, lyric A. This thing sounds freaking awesome. Yeah, so actually those faster lines, this is not as good with, but I'm going to show you what is good for that. This takes some finesse. This takes some finesse. Okay, so I'm going to start with the string ensemble. This is where I'm going to now split this off. I'm going to go to the mixer, close and mid mics. Okay. This is the, yeah. So you can hear the way it's triggering. That's because performing it is really hard. We can finesse it after we perform it. So that's what we're gonna do. And then we need to make sure we fix this. Da-da. So here's the problem. People start playing and they're like, it doesn't sound good. Therefore, these strings aren't good. But we can work with it. Okay. Here's the thing. You got to make sure there's enough overlap. I'm gonna pull these forward a little bit. Obviously, need to make sure we're not actually like completely off. Okay, I'm going to come back to this in a second. I'm going to come back to this in a second. So the first thing we're going to do is now go to the chamber string. Chamber strings. All right, if you want this, you need to make sure you get the legato performance patch. This is how you're going to get the best results. Turn this up because it's quiet. And compress it. All right, so this is gonna sound a little better, and then we can layer this and then turn these ones down. So this is gonna add the realism. Chamber violin. And then the native instruments one is going to add the bigness. Hear that? Just gonna work with this one. Oh, might be nice if I actually have on the right track. Lols. Okay, now we pull that up. And now, let's see how it sounds. going to talk about my earnings on YouTube. How much do you make? Like, how would you feel if people ask you like how much you made? Like that, there's this thing called privacy. It's crazy. It's hilarious. All right, and then what we're gonna do is pull this down, grab it, drop the octave. Here we go. The question about it being laggy, yeah. So that's why you need to like. I'm not done with this yet. So we need to pull. You need to pull it forward a little bit. Moving everything back a bar so that way I can have a little bit more space to work with. All right, so then percussion is going to be a really big part of this. Brass is going to be a really big part of this. So we've got those, right? So now we need to kind of add some higher strings, which two, three, four, five, six. Okay, change of plans. So basically, we've got these like long patch here. Nah, I knew that was going to happen. Okay, so then I'm going to call this an I strings dry. It's going to be a drier one. And then what we're going to do is... There we go. Ah. 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe I do want to use the spiccato. Okay. Hey, thanks for the super chat, Roger. Appreciate it. You guys don't need to feel obligated, but it helps out. It helps make these live streams a little, you know, a little more worth it. Not that they're not worth it. It's worth it. But it's just, you know, it just helps. So thanks. Thanks for that. Boom. NJL sample library of beatboxing. It might be a bit. Let's do some drums. Damage toms. I love damage for this crap. No, shut up. Not you. Sorry. Sometimes I talk to my computer. That's what we're gonna do right there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Boom! Frickin' love this crap. Heck yeah. This. And then you add in those little duh-duh-duh-duh. Give it to me. Let's go. Oh yeah. Boom. We're still just getting started, y'all. So that's those toms. Sticks. These are from damage. I want to make sure those are valued properly. Ah, messed up there. Where's that? That needs to not be that way. Heck yeah. Let's go. Oof. Give it to me. All right. Damage is awesome, y'all. If you guys don't have damage, I think damage is worth just get damage. Damage is freaking sick. Let me get some of these hits. Oh yeah. No. I always forget that one's a little too aggressive. You know what? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? I don't even have splice, actually. I don't even have splice. 3, 4, 5, 6. I would love to bring the keys into frame, but to be honest with you, like that would require a different live stream setup that we just don't have. So, you know, you're gonna have to deal with me being cheap, okay? Unless y'all want to super chat, ayo, ayo. If you guys want, how about this? How about this? How about this? If you guys want me to upgrade my live stream setup for you guys, super chat me up. Super chat me up, y'all. Show me the money. I'm also not being serious. You don't have to super chat me, but if you super chat me, I will give you a virtual hug, and it will mean a lot to you because, well, that sounded really narcissistic. So maybe not. You know what? Never mind. I'm just gonna shut my mouth. I'm just gonna make music now. Okay. Alrighty. Yeah. See, Roger did it. Roger super chatted it. You know, Roger's a good dude. Yeah, baby. Woo. Roger, can you give these friends a tutorial on how to super chat? Because to be honest with you, I have no idea. For those of you guys that are live stream illiterate, like your boy here, just... Oh... Look, super chat is a way you can pay me, okay? That's basically what this is. I'm just kidding. Oh my gosh, I'm just having too much fun with this. It's a way to support the channel, okay? Like, I don't even see all of it. YouTube takes a part of it anyways, but it's all good. YouTube's... I look, I'm not complaining, okay? YouTube is good to me. All right, let's find a nice clappity clap. Alrighty, elements, samples, claps. I dig it. I can dig it. Optimized. Doobie doobie doo. Turn that crap off. Woo! Give it to me. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Sorry. I'm I clicked on the button and now it's asking me to pay money. That's hilarious. Look, if you guys don't want a super chat, that's okay. Okay? It just means you don't like me. It's whatever. Reverby clap. Also, I just want everyone to know I'm actually joking. I'm not actually being serious because that would kind of be bad. Bro, how's that clipping? Frickin' how? You know what? Let's put a clipper on this guy. Let's clip it. Black Salt Audio. Shout out to my buddy Jordan. Heck yeah. Boom shakalaka. Clipping's a good thing. I like clipping. Clip that guy. All right, reverbs. Round, because it's my fave. My homies at Native Instruments. Holy crap. Yeah. Dude, what am I doing? Gosh dang. Claps are effective, y'all. Claps with the reverb like this, they're effective. Reverby claps for the win-win-win. Ooh, that's a good one too. We'll add another one because I want to add another layer. Let's do another quick sampler. Let's copy the settings. Reverby clap dose. All right, I think we need to maybe pull out some... No. Where is it? The EQ, there was like a weird resonance that I was just looking for. Just wanted to get rid of. I think it was kind of like hitting into the reverb. What's up, Olivia? How's it going? All right, I'm going to add a snare. I want a fat, punchy snare. Give me a fat, punchy snare. I know exactly where to go. So there's a question here. How often do you find yourself repeating sounds? All the time. No shame. No shame. There we go. Let's add that whip. Get that whip. Get that whip. Oh, man. Look at that. Look at that. Latte Town for the win-win. Latte Town, I don't actually know what your first name is. Thank you. Thank you for the virtual cup of coffee. Appreciate it. The super chat is much appreciated. Anyone else who wants to join the fun? We're having fun here, so do it. Oh, duh, Jer. Pfft. Bro, now I feel like a moron. Sup, Jer? Okay. I'm just going to grab all these whips. They watch me whip. They watch me nay-nay. I feel like I should not say that considering I'm probably too old for that. People think I'm young. People are like, oh, you're young. Y'all, I got kids. I got babies, man. Like, bruh, I got like an almost 4-year-old and like an almost 2-year-old. I'm about to have another baby in April. I got kids. I'm not whip Nene. What the frick? Freaking whip Nene. I'll whip your Nene. Oh, man. I'm 29. Or 20. I'm 28. I'm not quite 29. I'm 28. I'm not old. I'm not even old. That's the funny thing about it. I'm not old. I'm just young for having babies. It's all good. I got married young. Heck yeah. All right, so one of the questions was, are these my sounds or did you get these from libraries from somewhere? These particular drum sounds that I'm using, a buddy of mine gave them to me. I don't even know where he got. He's connected. Okay, and we'll just put it that way. He's connected. So, but snares. Music keeps you young. Amen. I was literally just talking to my wife about that. I was like, you know, in the grand scheme of things, there we go. There we go. In the grand scheme of things, I have a lot of life, like Lord willing, like I have a lot of life ahead of me, which means like the music I'm making today is probably nowhere close to the best music I'm going to make. The takeaway for today is no to kids, yes to claps. What do you mean no to kids? Dude, kids are awesome. I love my kids. Kids are great. Kids are great. Have babies. Do it. I mean, you know, obviously I'm not telling you what to do, but babies are good. You know what? I no longer like that snare sound. Wait till they turn into teenagers. You know what? Here's the goal. Here's the plan. The plan is to raise them in such a way that I will like them when they're teenagers. Hey. But I hear you. I was a teenager once upon a time. So maybe that's the optimist in me. That's the optimist in me talking, I'm sure. You know what? Look, I'm not saying that kids are easy. Never said that. I said kids are great. Heck yeah, I like that. Cats are the best kids. I have to disagree there. Dirty snared. Dirty snare. All right, we're going to talk about music now. Music is awesome. Don't you guys agree? Music is great. It unifies us together as human beings. It's awesome. I like it. It sounds pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm gonna do some more drummy drums. The drummity drum. You know what? Epic cinematic music is the best. I have to agree with you on that one for sure. Let's see. Man, these drums are so hit or miss. I'm not gonna lie. Gosh dang. No. East-West. East-West is so hit or miss. I don't know. I want to like East-West. I really do. Like, I want to like it, okay? I don't know. There's something just, I don't know what it is. Dude. Ooh, that's a good one. I like that sound. Do we need another snare? Yes. Question is it really doing that much? Yes! Okay, time to add. Okay, because we got drums. We don't have a lot else other than drums. So you know what's time to add, friends? It's time to add some of that analog brass. Sorry if I bleed your eardrums out. It's getting that point in the day where like I really need to go to the gym to like burn some energy, and instead I'm doing it on the live stream. It's like, whoa, does it go crazy? Golly days. And I wonder where my son gets it from. Freaking A. It's me. Shoot. Lord knows it's not from my wife. My wife is so calm, and she's like, I love my wife to death. She's amazing. She's incredible. She's my best friend. All right, cool. I'm going to be less sentimental now. Yeah. Mystic Marvel. Do I write the lyrics? Yes. There are lyrics here. I'll pull them up, okay? Okay, let's see. Heck freaking yes, that's it, baby. Okay, what we need to get rid of it is that global effects. Where is it? There's like a pitch thing going on. I don't like this. No. This is the thing. Freaking I know I've used this one before. Oh. There it is. I updated to Context 7. I'm just, as dumb as it sounds, I just don't like it as much. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Dog. You know what? I don't know. Maybe I don't like that. I think maybe we just need to tame this a little bit. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you know what? I actually need to back up a little bit because I'm kind of realizing I think I'm getting a little bit too much, to be honest. Like, I say that because I haven't really listened in context for a while. And this is the thing. I talk about this and I just haven't done it. We need to back up and like listen to where we came from. Yes, I have a dog. You can see. Yeah, she's chilling on the couch. Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay, so the Bram is too much. The Bram is going to be too much. So instead, we just need like a nice big bass that is not going to be super, super aggressive. The last thing in your song. That's so funny. Question about how my system is handling it. Whenever the audio clip's too bad, it stops me. Oh, that's too bad. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to turn everything down. I'm not too worried about the clipping right now. All right, let's do boom. Not that. Jeez. About the computer system. Yeah, it's E minor, C, G, B minor in this part. Fat. I want fat. Not that. Not that. Not that. Holy poop. Jeez. That is really bad. You know what? I'm gonna just build this up from the scratch. Okay, so first of all, we gotta power these off. What the fudge? What the heck? You know what? I'm gonna go back to there we go. What's up, Trevor? Okay. I'm working. It's funny. Golly days, come on. I like that. Okay, so then this is where we can start actually messing with a little bit more. Yeah, I'm not liking that sound of it. isolated bite that I'm just not super into. I like that. Let's see it in context. That's good. Okay, we're gonna call this subby boss. Subby. I'm not even gonna fix it. I'm not even mad. I'm just using my webcam camera right now. I am gonna use low control, I think. Where is it? Black salt, low control, high low control. All right, so then we need to add some brass. We're gonna add horns, but we're gonna do trombones first. Trombones, trombones, trombones. Boom. So I just want to.
All the times I tried, all the times I tried to find a reason to live, a reason to fight, a reason to hold on till I hold the ways I live my life. All the times I've tried to find a reason to give, a reason to live, a reason to hold. Wanna live life worth living. I wanna do more than surviving.
Oh yeah. So then. Don't have a release date yet. We haven't even recorded vocals yet. I'm still producing. 3, 4, 5, 6. 3, 4, 5, 6. Forgot the chords. There we go. 2, 3. Bum 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 bum. I see what the problem is. No. Yes. Yes. No. Yes. Get in there. 16th note. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't fucking get the right notes. 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Obviously, we're gonna have to manage volume. We're clipping hard on the master, but you know, problems that are so easy to fix, and I'm not worried about it right now. I'm just not worried about it. I'm not worried. I'm not worried. You know what I'm saying? It's like whatever. It's like, eh. Golly days, I think Native Instruments has some of the best brass out there. Yep. Okay. Bum bum. Da 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 da. My computer's actually starting to struggle a little bit. 30-minute QA after the stream. First of all, thank you for the super chat. Feel free to ask questions now. I mean, once the stream's over, I'm probably gonna need to wrap this up in about half an hour from now. So drop me any questions you got, Lawrence. Thank you for the super chat. Really, really appreciate it. So shoot me your questions. Happy to hit them as we're kind of going through this. What specs am I running? So my laptop's 64 gig RAM, 2 terabyte solid state drive on the internal, and then I have another solid state that I run all my samples off of. So good question about, this is a really good question about 3 minutes and 22 seconds. Is that too long to wait? This is a very long song. This is like probably one of the longest vocal songs I've done. It's over it's like 5 minutes. Yeah, it's like 5 minutes long. So as far as that goes, I'm doing this very much on purpose. And if you were to look at the track that I'm referencing, go listen to Chasing Cars by Tommy Prophet and Flurry. That's really what I'm modeling the structure of this arrangement off of. So I do have references that I'm using. I am referencing on this. So this is not like a willy-nilly like, oh, this is like, wait super long. So the questions are irrelevant to mix. Go for it. Feel free to ask questions. It doesn't have to be about this specific track. You can certainly, especially since you super chatted, I'm happy to answer any questions you got. So shoot them off, man. And yeah. So to kind of answer the question, and we don't have the vocals in here, right? For the context and everything, there is a build. Like the vocals are going to be a build, but this is the explosion, and I'm very much on purpose waiting to get to that explosion until this point. So, is it too long? Maybe for some people, and this is where the beauty of music is. If you like it, then great. Like there's not like a wrong answer with this stuff. I mean, there can be a preference, right? There's definitely like preferential elements where like I could look at an arrangement and be like, man, you're taking way too long, but it's like boring, right? Like it's not getting there, and it should get there, and it's boring. And that's different than like, man, you really hold off, but it's like definitely on purpose. And again, some people might not feel like it's on purpose. I do. So yeah.
Spread my wings and fly to where I've never been. I wanna live like I'm dying. Da, 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 da.
Lemon Wedgies asks, is there a good rule of thumb volume of lead vocals in relation to the instrumental? Not a dB volume. There's not like a dB number. I'm never looking at the number. I really don't care about the number. It has everything to do with just like how does it sound, which obviously is like hard to talk about. But here's a really good like way of figuring out if you're too loud or not loud enough or whatever. Push your vocals till they're very clearly too loud, like way too loud. And then push them down to when they're too quiet, where it's like noticeably too quiet. And then split the difference. That's going to get you awfully close to where it should be. And for most, I would push it a little bit further than the halfway. most people tend to mix vocals not loud enough and they get buried. So it's almost better to have a vocal that is too forward than not enough. I mean, both are not great, right? But like if you're going to pick between the two, err on loud. That's what I would typically say. Two, three, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm gonna do that again. 1, 2. All right, might not do that whole thing at the end the way that I did. Okay, Lawrence. Oh, I'm sorry. You didn't need to redo. You can super chat. You don't need to super chat. Just to be clear. Man, I hope you didn't think that I was saying you needed to super chat to ask a question, Lawrence. But thank you. I again, seriously, thank you. Okay, so you purchased a pre-mastered music and aim to record your vocals over it, lacking control over individual instrument equalization. Can I mix in my vocals without a counter? Yeah, that should be fine. You shouldn't have any problems with that. I mean, that's not like the most ideal thing in the world, but like when I'm mixing my vocals, you can definitely mix a vocal to fit with an instrumental, right? So like whenever you're mixing a vocal, like when I'm mixing a vocal, I'm obviously mixing it in relationship to the instrumental that I'm working with. You could totally do that like with just an instrumental. You're not going to have the control over the individual elements, obviously. You could have control over the master. So like obviously if the instrumental is too bright, then you can bring some of that down to leave some room for the vocals, like some air and shimmer and stuff like that. But yeah, you can definitely still mix a vocal in with it. And so like you'd probably want to have like a very standard vocal chain, you like compression, EQ, maybe another compressor, some DS, reverb, delay, those types of things are going to want to, and I do have a video on the channel, by the way, on mixing vocals, and like the vocal chain that I use, like the overwhelming majority of the time, which is basically like EQ, compression, DS, compression, EQ, and then from there, it kind of depends on where I want to go with it. There might be some saturation. It might be reverb, delay, those types of things. Olivia, I live in Nebraska, Kearney, Nebraska, middle of the Midwest, which, should be proof and evidence that you do not need to live in a big city to have success. Man, there was some serious rushing happening on here. I think that's it. Golly days. That rushing, it'll get you every time. I'm dying. Yes, I know I'm clipping. It's not a big deal. when I say it's not a big deal, I mean it's not a big deal right now because I'm not mixing. I am going to be turning everything down. So when you're producing, if you're clipping, it's not that big of a deal. As long as an individual instrument is not clipping, you're fine. It's not a big deal. Okay. Oh, wait. That's not even the one that... Whoa, that's crazy. My favorite sport is football. I like football. Go Big Red. How long do I normally stream? I don't know. Usually like, I don't know, maybe 2 hours maybe? So longer than, I mean 2 to 3 hours I'd say is typical. Usually it's just however long it takes me to finish a track, to be honest. This one I've kind of, you know, talked a little bit more and, you know, hung out with the fam. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. How long did it learn to sing? I mean, so I'm not singing on this. I have a vocalist who's I'm like, yes, I sing, but like I'm not like great. I'm not like trying to be a singer, to be clear. I'm a producer and a songwriter. At the end. Okay, so you said if I adjust the frequencies on the instrumental and the master by changing the EQ, will it affect the sound so much that the instrumental no resemble? No, I mean, no. I mean, obviously if you go like over the top, it will. Like I'm talking about like a modest amount. Like let's say you have an EQ, right? And you're gonna like, hey, it's just a little bit too harsh. You might just do something like this. Like that's gonna get it done. So, you know, or whatever. You don't want to go aggressive. The more aggressive you go on, especially on cutting, with boosting, I'm a lot more like, you be aggressive on a boost. Chances are you will not, like I would say, again, I'm saying this without knowing what the instrumental is. I don't know how well it was mixed. I don't know how well it was produced. I don't know any of the information, right? I'm going off of just what you've told me. Like I got these instrumentals, I'm doing vocals. You should be able to match. It's going to be easier to match your vocals to the instrumental than try to match the instrumental to your vocals, if that makes sense. So mix your vocals to the instrumental, not the other way around. Does that make sense? That's what I would do. So that's usually what I do. Like when I'm mixing a vocal, like I'm usually like working to make the vocal fit the context of the production, not like I'm not necessarily like trying to, because the production's already done. Like when I do vocals, the producing side is done in the sense of like the instrumental. I'm not like, here, let's produce the vocal and then like finish out the production. That's not how I work. I get the whole instrumental totally finished, pretty much mixed, like 85% there. And then I do the vocals and then I finish it. So how do you deal with a situation where you or someone else notice the song you work on is too similar to one that already exists? I don't know. Like I haven't had that problem. Like I think people get way too concerned about that. Your stuff is gonna sound like something else out there. It's just not a big deal. Like as long as you're not like copying, like intentionally, I guarantee you, you can find at least 100 songs that sound about the same as what you made. At least aspects of it. So I would not get overly concerned. I've personally never gotten overly concerned on that. So did I use loops as an amateur? No, I just don't know. I mean, I'm not saying like I've never used loops, but it's a very, very, very minuscule. Like if I have like a little TikTok sound like that I want to use, like maybe something like that, I would potentially use loops. I stay away from loops, to be honest with you. I want my music to be mine. Like I want to create it. And I'm not saying that I have a problem with using loops. However, if you're doing what I do, which is, if you're getting hired to do anything in television, be extremely careful that you do not use melodic loops or loops that are like too distinguishable. That can become a problem, just so you guys know. That is a problem. And there are some instances where if they're trying to, because they're going to have to do what's called clearing. So like, when I work for the studio that does commercials that I work with on occasion, if I get hired to do something and then I have something that's like very loops based, they're going to flag it. You know what I mean? They're going to be like, nope, this sounds too much like XYZ, that we can't legally put this on TV because it's using loops. So if you're using like a melodic loop, well, what happens if some other artist used that exact melodic loop on a song that has 10 million streams? You see the problem? They've copywritten that song. Does that make sense? So they copyright the song that has that loop, and then you now do a song that has that loop. That raises some really significant issues where now that artist could say, hey, I copywrote that. It's like, whoa, hold on a minute. But that's a loop that you used that is on Splice. Splice is having issues with this. This is a legitimate problem. So I personally, I've never used loops that are melodic in general. I just don't do that. That's not a part of my workflow. I want to make music myself. I'm a pianist. I'm a professional level pianist. So like, why would I use a loop when I could literally play literally anything in that I want? That's my thought process. So, how can you detect frequency interference? What does it appear as an EQ graph? Is it just overlapping? Honestly, dude, I don't even use a graph. Like, I just don't think that you need to be super worried about like the science of it. It's about your ears, dude. So like the way that you would want to tell if it's interference, like, does it bother your ears? Like, does it cause problems with your ears? Are you listening to it like, man, there's something in like the higher register that's just like really conflicting or like harsh or sibilant? That's when, I'm not looking at, man, what does this look like on the graph? Like, to be just straight with you, if I was in a situation where someone sent me an instrumental and then said, hey, I got these vocals here, can you mix these vocals to the instrumental? I will not a single time am I going to be pulling up an EQ graph to see. The science doesn't matter if it doesn't sound good. That's all that matters. Does it sound good? And so like people get really concerned about, what is it supposed to look like? You shouldn't be using your ears. Something could look perfect and still sound like garbage. You know what I'm saying? So don't go off of your eyes, go off of your ears. And that's what I would recommend. So the other thing is that you can reference. So if you have music that is similar to what you are making, go reference, listen to those songs back and forth between yours. And that's going to get you the best idea of, does this sound good or not? Am I having issues or not? Until you start referencing, you're probably not going to have a very good objective perspective because you're just looking at the one thing you're doing. You got to look at what other people are doing in the context of what you're doing, so then you can start making better decisions. Takes on Cakewalk by Ballad. Never tried it, so I don't have any ideas on that. Most reputable companies give you licensed samples which are legally yes. So it's totally different to use samples. I am using samples, but I'm not like using pre-recorded things. By the way, there are libraries within Native Instruments that have pre-recorded patches. I'm just not a fan. I just don't like them. Action strings as an example. They have the emotive strings. I just don't think it's good. You know what I mean? Like, one, you can't tweak them. But maybe that's how you identify this. Yeah. So I mean, like, look, if you yes, that's a good point, Lawrence. So if you hear something off and you're like, man, something is sounding off, then use an EQ to see if you can find it. But I'm not going to be like just looking at the graph to find it. I would instead be boosting a little bit here and be like, okay, I'm going to narrow band boost and see if I can identify what that specific thing is. Okay. But here's the problem. A lot of people start here. They go, I'm going to find bad frequencies. And then they just start by sweeping all the bad frequencies. And then it's like, well, yeah, you're going to find bad frequencies because you're looking for it. Do you hear bad frequencies? If you don't hear bad frequencies, don't go looking for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, so people get this all backwards, but they're like, I'm going to go look for bad frequencies. Well, yeah, you're going to find like 100 bad frequencies because basically everything sounds like garbage if you turn it up. Like 5K is going to sound really bad if you just boost 5K by 10 dB with a really narrow band. It's going to sound bad because you just boosted by 10 dB. So instead, it's like, I'm hearing something that sounds off. That's step one. Okay, let's see if I can find this thing. And that's where you go look for that very specific thing. Do a boost, sweep. If you start finding things that are not the original thing that you're looking for, don't worry about it. Just move on. Find the thing that you're looking for. So yeah, that's one of those things I think, you do need to train your ears. Like, this is not going to be something you just like magically wake up and you're like, oh, like I can identify this stuff. Like, you have to train your ears for this. Got to keep going here. Man, I can't even hear it. Two, three, four, five, six. Couple little fibs in there. I can't even talk. Okay. All right. So what distinguishes mixing and mastering? Is it correct to assume that if you have a well-mixed track, it has also been mastered to some extent? No. Mastering is a completely different process. So mixing is like this. Like what I'm working with right now, when I'm finished producing and like have the whole thing done, I'm working with individual tracks. Mastering is when that part is done, it's been mixed, and mastering is when you're going for maximum volume, you're going for tonal balance and all that stuff. So it's the very, very end. And mastering is a completely different process. So I am not a mastering engineer. So I think this is like one of the like weird things with the world of like home studio producing is there are all of these separate processes that are not the same. Like there are songwriters who that's all they are. They are songwriters. They're not producers. They're not mixing engineers. They're songwriters. That's what they do. They sit with artists and they write with them. And there are people that do that. Like that is their job. Now, If that's your only job and you're just a songwriter, it's really hard to make money, like really hard to make money. Okay. Now, if you are a producer, sometimes producers are also mixing engineers like me. I mix my own stuff. I produce it, I mix it. But then there's the mastering engineers, and some people do produce, mix, and master, but it's a very small number. It's a very, very small number of people that actually do that and are successful. So most of the time, producers will produce and mix. They might not even mix their stuff, by the way. Like most of the stuff that you hear on the radio, the producer did not mix. Like there's a whole process here that most people go through. And then they're going to hand that off to the mastering engineer at the end. And then the mastering engineer does that. I do not master. I hire a mastering engineer. It's a completely different mindset. It's a completely different approach to making music. And it's not something that I'm interested in learning, to be frank with you. Like I don't care about it enough to want to do it myself. I would rather pay someone $150 for a song and then have it sound absolutely bonkers good. But you have to do everything else right first. So like the song has to be great. The production has to be great. The performances have to be great. The mix has to be great. All those things have to be great in order for the master to be great. So again, it's like there are these individual components of the process that some people just kind of convolute and act as if it's all the same. They are very different. They are very distinct. So like when I'm mixing, I'm working with the individual instruments, meshing them together, making sure they sound really good in relationship to each other. I'm going to be creating space with reverbs and delays, tonal qualities with like EQ and stuff. I'm doing the vocal processing, all that jazz. Mastering is looking at just the end, just the audio file, one piece of audio. And they are going to be doing tonal balance. So they will use EQ. They're going to be compressing it. They're going to be saturating. They're going to be, they're probably going to be doing some parallel processing with either distortion or compression. They are going to be limiting, clipping, very likely, all those things. And it just so depends on the genre of music, whether they're going to do any, like some of those things. Like clipping might not happen on something that's like folk music. You're probably not going to find a whole lot of clipping on folk music. You go to EDM, they're clipping it like really hard. Even this style of music, like my mastering engineer definitely clips my stuff. Maybe not on this song. Actually, no, he probably will on this song at the big moment. But like, yeah. How would you compare native instruments, sampled instruments to Spitfire? They're both awesome. I mean, if you have like the complete ultimate bundle, then I kind of think you're probably good for a while. I mean, I don't know. I like having more sample libraries, but it's hard because then I'm telling, like, because then if someone's like, oh, well, in that case, I just go buy, it's like, that's money spent, right? Like, so I don't want to just tell you like, oh, go like buy a bunch of stuff. But like for me, I do think that having access to more sounds is good. But I also do this for a living. So it's like hard when I'm like talking to someone who maybe doesn't do it for a living and you're trying to decide between buying a sample library or like, you know, any other things in your life. You know what I mean? Like, this is my job. Like, this is literally my job. So, yeah, I'm going to spend more money and invest in myself to have the tools that I need to have. So, yeah. Livia, do I play guitar? Yeah, I do play guitar. I'm not, like, amazing at it, but I do play it. So, all right. I'm going to play this through. Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that tip helped you, to skip every 10 seconds. All right, I'm going to start at the top here. I need to go to the restroom. Again, because hydration, it's a thing. I'm going to play this. Enjoy listening. I'm gonna stop it there because I need to get the drums and all that other stuff done. So Lawrence, so handing over a mix you're satisfied with to another person and mastering sounds nerve-wracking. I mean, you don't know until you try. To be honest with you, I freaking love handing my songs over for mastering. I love it because I know it's going to come back sounding better. So I think, I think people have like a misconception that mastering is going to like radically change the song. It's not going to radically change the song. It's just going to make it louder and sound tonally better. So unless you're hiring like a really crappy mastering engineer, like, I don't know, like So I just don't think it's that big of a deal. I don't know. Again, like obviously I have more experience with it. Like if you've never done it before, then sure. Here's what I would do. Take your song and master it through some AI like Lander or through Mastering Studio or any of those things. And if it comes back and you're like, wow, that sounds really good, then I guarantee you're going to be happy hiring a mastering engineer because they're going to do better than that. Like that's my 2 cents. Charlie, is it issue that the track is clipping? Is that not an issue for public release? Oh yeah, it's totally an issue for public release. This isn't released yet. I mean, I'm going to turn it all down. Like, I just produced this whole song on this stream. I know you said, I'm not mad at you, by the way, just to be clear. So I will absolutely, here's what's going to happen. Ready? I'm going to go like this, grab it, and then just go, whoop, turn everything down, and then look. Hey, look at that. We're not clipping anymore. Boom, not clipping anymore. And I'll probably turn it down way more than that when it comes time. But yeah, that's it. Shout out from the digital music production class at West Aurora High School in Aurora, Illinois. What's up? Hope you guys are doing well. Sir, I have a question. That's what is work of graphic EQ and compressor for vocals? I don't really think I don't know if I understand the question. Maybe if you could rephrase it. Charlie, you usually avoid clipping at all costs during initial recording. Yeah. So there's a difference between clipping a track and clipping the master. I'm not clipping any tracks. I just want to be really clear. Nothing in here is clipping. This is like, here's the most simple term. Here's like the most simple thing. If your tracks are not clipping, but your stereo output is, just turn everything down and you're good. It's that easy. It's not a problem. Like you just don't want individual instruments clipping when you record them or track them or produce them or whatever. So yeah, that's it. I need to go. It's been fun. This was a long stream, almost 3 hours. So it's longer than normal. I need to go. Thank you all for joining. Thanks, Lawrence, for the super chats, and thanks to all of you guys who super chatted it up. Appreciate you guys. And we'll be back for more. I think I'm gonna start doing Wednesdays 10 a.m. CST Central Standard stuff. Bruno up there with Tommy Prophet. Dang, that's the compliment. Tommy and I talk. So I mean, yeah, I love Tommy. Tommy's like one of the guys I just respect so much. He's a super cool dude. I'm hoping to get him on the channel actually later on this year. It's just, you know, when you're talking about a dude like Tommy, he's extremely busy. So it's not exactly the easy thing to put together. So, but yeah, no, we've talked. He's super cool dude from the interactions I've had with him. Really just down to earth, and his music is freaking awesome. Definitely one of those dudes. I listen to his music a ton. Love his stuff. Alrighty, cool. I'm gonna end the stream. Have a wonderful day, everybody.